can see why. Especially like with the, it's just, first of all, it's about the Chun-Li skin. It's about the Chun-Li skin first and foremost. That's the most important part. But yes, absolutely.
What do you mean? That's Chun-Li.
I'm saying it's about the Chun-Li skin. Oh. That's the most important part.
Yeah, the release of the Chun-Li skin really has motivated a lot of players to play it, surely.
And then it makes everybody think, like, wait a second, Wushang is just kind of crazy in twos anyways, right? Everybody was already doing Wushang and choose it now. We'll have to see what happens this time around. At the moment, though, Void, okay, gonna be stuck in between Raydish and MegD. Raydish just getting Meow out of play, and that already just shows how good of a player is there. They knock one blue team member out to the side, and they focus on the other one, and as a result, look at how much damage they've dealt. Look at the fact that Void stock has already taken not even a minute in.
Not even a minute in, indeed. Void is having a little bit of a hard time. Meow is going to have to try and sustain this stock. Still, Raydish and MegD, they're looking quite damaged here. Down onto orange already. This is definitely not a massive lead that they built for themselves. Oh. But Void, no way Raydish was going for that. That could have been the knockout right there.
Yeah, but it's Boots recovery. When are we seeing Boots recovery actually KO off the top? MegD, oh my god, wanted to get that side sig as well. Doesn't actually find that follow-up quite yet, though.
Oh my god, dude! Okay, we just got 2v2 combos coming out left and right. Void and Meow are going to be able to get one for themselves. They still got that small deficit with Void being quite damaged, and I don't like what I'm seeing. Void is throwing out way too many attacks. You gotta kind of go into semi-spectator mode at this point.
Okay,
Raydish, he gets the double?
Raydish is doing the Red Raptor thing in twos, which is, hey, I'm gonna Raptor. I'm gonna side sig. I'm gonna get my motorcycle out, and I will get away with it.
It's such a crazy signature. I can't believe that signature is tournament legal. They gotta ban that signature. This is such an action-packed game already. Void and Meow on their last stocks here.
I gotta say, the synergy between Raydish and MegD is already phenomenal. They're just comboing blue teams side to side. They're always ready to follow up off of one another. Look at this! You thought that you could interrupt it? You thought that you could interrupt it, and you found yourself in the combo instead? That feels bad. That feels awful.
And they get a second one. They get it started with the D-Sig, and they're closing out the first game. 4 stocks. I believe this game definitely has an asterisk over it, though. I mean, maybe not towards the end, but I mean, they got some sweet 2v2 combos. They definitely showed some sign of life. Don't give me that finger saying it was only one 2v2 combo. It felt like more than one combo.
Yeah, I mean, they got a double. You know, they got 2 stocks off of it. But in reality, what happened was, for the majority of it, it was kind of MegD and Raydish controlling them. They kept setting up these 2v1 combos, and they said, hey, I don't think you can interrupt us. I don't think you can stop us. And then the one time they tried, it ended up being both blue team members actively being comboed. MegD and Raydish did not seem threatened that game at all. They got the full extent of the damage. They got their full combos out. Their positioning was great. And the thing is, in twos, to actually be able to execute those kinds of combos, it's not about just being technically able to do so. It is about constantly putting yourself in a position and looking at your teammate and thinking about what kind of options of those can actually send an opponent into you. And they put themselves there. You have to put yourself in a good position so that you can then react and follow up. It's not just about reaction.
You need good neutral to be able to do that as well. Because if you're constantly, and also to not allow your enemies to do that, you need a good neutral. Because if you're constantly applying pressure on your opponents from all kinds of directions, they are not going to be able to have the time to A, get into the right position, and B, keep an eye on their teammates so they can find those setups. So if you just keep that pressure up high, then you're going to give your enemies a hard time. They're not going to find as many 2v2 combos.
They seemed unthreatened in their game plan. Right? Yeah. They just knew what they were doing, and they were able to execute it, and they did not seem to be too shooken up by it. So going into the next game, I'm curious what Meow and Void Glitch can actually do to throw off Raydish and MegD and make them a little bit more uncomfortable. Raydish,
I mean, it's MegD and Raydish. Are they going to be able to make them uncomfortable?
You know, a bit of a tough ask. That's a bit of a tall order.
It's a tall order from Meow and Void Glitch, but they're here to do their absolute best. We are moving into the second game, as you mentioned, and we're going to have to wait and see what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, right now it is 2 1v1s. If I'm blue team, I'm totally okay with that. Void Glitch, okay, going to be looking to get something started with the spear. Raydish off stage, comes back on, doesn't actually connect anything, looking for the jump call out with the recovery that did not connect either. Okay, you know what? They're slowing down the pace of the game, and they're not throwing themselves in between red team. And in fact, they got that first stock off Raydish.
They got that first stock indeed. They have quite a strong start here, and they have not allowed MegD and Raydish to find any 2v2 combos. I saw them sandwiched for a very long time between Raydish and MegD, so got a little bit afraid there, but still, so far, so good.
Okay, getting that side out. Now Void holding onto the stage, looking for any way to get MegD off stage yet again. He's not going to be too successful though. Now Meow going back onto Raydish. Yo, the blue team, they're kind of waking up a little bit.
They are kind of waking up a little bit indeed. They're playing super well so far, sustaining this lead still. I'm just kind of looking at this game and I'm wondering, when is MegD and Raydish going to reverse it? And it's just not happening so far.
They've had a tempo change. What actually happened here is Void and Meow, they've slowed down their game plan, they've changed up their positioning. Now here's the thing, Red Team is more than capable of adapting to that. It's not about just making one change, it's about being dynamic and changing your pace and your tempo and your positioning. If they stick to this, all that's going to happen is MegD and Raydish will catch on and punish them for it. So the question is, will Meow and Void Glitch be dynamic and unpredictable enough? This is a bit of an abstract concept, but I have seen like the actual live like slowdown in their game plan, and they need to alternate between those slower game plans and then knowing when to go in a little bit more.
Yeah, but you might be onto something. You kind of lost me there, but you know, yes, I agree with everything Dara just said. Your concepts are way too complicated for me, man. I'm just like, oh, well, nice recovery. Hey, it goes for a second recovery, not going to be connected. Nice.
Excellent positioning, able to get that side as well. Blue team has a pretty okay lead at the moment. MegD still going to be holding on to the stock for Red Team. Let's see what they can make with it.
So far, Raydish and MegD, they are slowly but surely turning this game around for them. Going to be knocking out Meow, and this is basically even at this point. Void is stuck in that 1v2, but he's not going to get stuck in any 2v2 combo, which is very important. Well played by him.
Really committing to these D-lights, really committing to these recoveries. Void has been whiffing a lot, and MegD finally able to get that punish with the side light, and that position was brutal. You whipped that recovery, that's okay. Raydish came back in there and made sure to cover up the space that MegD missed by committing to that recovery. Now all of a sudden, it is all one stocks apiece, except for MegD, who's holding on to 2. What's going to happen? Oh no.
Mutual signature coming out. Raydish now in a difficult situation. He's going to have to try and run a good amount, and he is going to be able to do so unscathed. That's a lot of damage already applied onto Void. Signature hitting Meow as well.
But that's an uncharacteristic with side sig for MegD, and now Void is off stage. Meow is going out there. Oh no, you might have just put yourself in an awful position. I can't believe that down and connected on the stage. Void made it back on and wanted to double dip, go out there against MegD. Wasn't successful. Everybody is alive.
Yeah, and all of that started by Raydish being off stage. They were trying to knock out Raydish, and they just kind of reversed that situation on top of its head. Amazingly played for MegD and Raydish. They're running away with this lead now, and they just need to find basically one good hit to get this knockout. It's going to be the air lights into the weapon throw, finishing it in style. MegD and Raydish are unstoppable.
That was a little silly, wasn't it? That was a silly way to end it off. Like the neutral light just kind of holds you in there because of all the multi-hits, and then the weapon descends on you. Okay, I got really scared for a second. That looked like that was going to be a game for the blue team for a second. Meow and Void, they came alive, especially in the opening.
Yes.
I was like, whoa, what is happening?
Absolutely, but MegD and Raydish, you know, they pulled it together towards the end. They're finding their adaptations that they need to make. And I mean, at this point, we're looking at amazing 2v2 players. I think for Void and Meow, it is going to be incredibly difficult for them to one-up MegD and Raydish yet again.
Yeah, they started off in the beginning of that game, but the question is, can they do that twice in a row? That's going to, we'll just have to find out that answer in just a moment. They are now just jumping into Game 3. They've locked in their respective legends. Are there going to be any swaps? Not quite. Everybody just sticking to the same thing.
Everyone sticking to the same thing indeed, and in the start, weapons are going to be split among the teams equally. Void, last one to get a spear in his hands. They're able to get something started right away. A little bit of damage. They do have that small lead. MegD already quite damaged, all the way down in orange here. Oh,
and blue team able to get red team stacked on top of one another, and now Raydish. Did you see that? That turnaround was amazing, saying, hey, wait, I'm not putting you off stage, I'm putting you back on stage, because he knew that his teammate was ready to back him up. That was such a good decision in the moment.
And again, a crazy good start coming out from Void and Meow. Both players on the yellow, they've taken out MegD. Raydish already quite damaged. Meow having a little bit of a harder time right now, but he has that bow.
The same thing happened. Raydish was comboing one of the blue team members, carried himself with them, and then ended up getting punished because he was stacked on top of them, and that is just the nature of boots. Meow knocked down to the second stock. Raydish holding on to 3 at the moment. What's going to happen? Oh, Raydish is pressing side 6. Raydish is getting silly with it.
Raydish getting very silly with it indeed. Void going all the way up and getting that Sair. He wants to try to get a revenge hit onto MegD. They're able to find a little bit of damage. Still though, Meow, looking at Meow's stocks and damage. He needs to potentially start getting a little bit more careful. Allow Void to catch up here.
Not if Void is actually going to deal some friendly fire onto Meow. That was a little bit unfortunate for the moment. Nice punish on that with side sig. Meow comes back onto the stage. What will they do to Raydish? Raydish, look at how much damage he's taken. Raydish is the most vulnerable player on the screen right now, and Void is still stock tanking.
Void is still stock tanking. I don't know how he's doing it, but somehow he has MegD getting that nair. Very unfortunate, not going to be knocking out Raydish. Enesig almost taking down Meow, and finally that's Void going down. Meow soon to follow, and Raydish and MegD, although they are low on these stocks, if they just target Meow, this is still so winnable for them. And again,
I like that turnaround, right? Raydish is basically saying, hey, just in case you jump after me, I'm going to turn around against you. It was just a precaution. It was insurance is what that was.
Yeah, and again, it's towards the end of the game here that we have seen Raydish and MegD absolutely turn up. They're on their last stock, so this is the time for them to do it.
If there is ever a time, it's going to be now. Raydish now picking up the orb. What's going to happen here? Looking for a way to land. Not going to find it quite yet. Blue team with a massive combo. MegD and Raydish bleeding quite a bit now. Uh-oh.
Bleeding quite a bit indeed. They need to get Void out of the game as soon as possible. As soon as they get that knockout, they have that pseudo 1v2 to work with. They can apply so much pressure onto Meow, but MegD is so damaged. He needs to be so careful, and as he's careful, they can just target out Raydish. They are struggling right now, Dara.
Okay, love that back away from MegD. Backs off for just a second. Raydish wants to extend into MegD, just controlling something stage. Backing off, playing as safe as possible.
Big. And the Enesig connecting it up now. One stock apiece, and they get the knockout as well. 2v1 opportunity. MegD and Raydish, you guys have been strong on the 2v1 opportunities. Void, this is his last chance to get a point on the board against PR5 and PR6, I believe, coming out from Raydish and MegD.
But that's so hard when you're going up against a 1v2 against Raydish and MegD, because
and
look at this combo.
That should be over. They get it, they follow it up, and the Enesig doesn't close it out though. Void is still in the game. It's still going to connect. It was so close. It was so close, but it is going to be over in 3-0 fashion. Still, I mean, that was close. That was not a 3. That was a 3-0 with an asterisk. They could definitely throw in Jon there.
This speaks to the volatility of twos, which is everything could be going well, and then sometimes you accidentally step on your teammate's toe, and you guys are in the same place at the same time, and then you get 2v2 comboed.